Dzień dobry and welcome to an episode of Brit and Poland. Today I am in Przemyśl, I think. Now this is one of Poland's oldest cities and it's right on the border with Ukraine. Well, pretty much, It's throughout its history it's been a very multicultural city. It's certainly had a lot of Polish people, Ukrainians, Jews, and it's had its fair share of encounters with the Tatars. It's got one of the largest fort complexes in Europe, but other than that it has some amazing squares, so a really cool castle, and it's just like in that corner away of Poland that most people probably don't get to on the tourism route. So I really recommend it. And another thing, the city is famous for bears. Like Wrocław has dwarves, Przemyśl has bears. So do look for those. I found all of the ones I could find, including one stolen bear. Okay, I didn't find that, but I found out it was stolen. But please enjoy the video. Please stay tuned. Dzień dobry and welcome to A Brit in Poland. With this channel, I travel across the country, I bring you the culture, and I show you just how amazing Poland is. So I invite you on my journey. If you want to see more, I have Facebook and Instagram profiles, which you will find links to in the description below. And if you want to really help out, you can turn to my Patreon or Patronite accounts, again in the description. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Do zobaczenia.
After exploring Rzeszów and visiting the magnificent castle at Landshut, my journey through the Podkarpackie region brought me here, to the historic city of Przemyśl. Located in southeastern Poland, not far from the Ukrainian border, Przemyśl has long been an important crossroads between cultures, empires, and trade. Today, the city sits quietly in a valley along the San River, surrounded by hills that have shaped its history for centuries. Today, Przemyśl is home to around 60,000 people, making it one of the smaller historic cities in Poland. But its location and long history have given it an importance far beyond its size. I arrived in the evening and spent my first few hours simply wandering through the old town. My first impression of Przemyśl was the space. The city centre opens into a series of large squares connected by narrow streets, almost like corridors guiding you deeper into the historic heart of the city. Compared to some of Poland's larger and busier cities, the atmosphere here felt calmer and more relaxed. But while Przemyśl might feel peaceful today, the city has a long and complex history, something you'd quickly begin to discover when exploring its museums and historic sites. Przemyśl is one of the oldest cities in Poland, with roots stretching back more than 1,000 years. Its location here in the Przemyśl Gate, a natural corridor between the Carpathian Mountains and the lowlands, made it a strategic crossroads for trade, armies, and empires for centuries. The first settlement here was a fortified Slavic stronghold built by the Lendians around the 8th century. From the very beginning, this was a contested frontier city, fought over by Poland, Kievan Rus, and Hungary. In 1018, the Polish king Bolesław the Brave reclaimed the city and established one of the earliest royal residences here, helping cement Przemyśl's role as an important border stronghold. By the 14th century, the city entered a golden age. King Kazimierz the Great strengthened the city and built a castle overlooking the valley, while Magdeburg city rights granted in the late 14th century helped Przemyśl flourish as a major trading hub. Beneath the streets of the old town, the underground tourist route reveals part of that world. A network of medieval cellars and later sewer systems that once served merchants trading salt, timber, and crafts along routes connected to the Baltic and the Black Sea. The Bell and Pipe Museum is the only museum in Poland dedicated to these crafts that made Przemyśl famous. On 8 floors, the bell foundry process, huge collection of historic bells and exquisitely carved tobacco pipes. And the clock still works perfectly. For centuries, Przemyśl was a remarkable multicultural city. Poles, Ruthenians, Jews, Armenians, Germans, and Czechs all lived and traded here, shaping a city whose culture reflected the crossroad of Central and Eastern Europe. In the 19th century, the city took on an entirely new role. Under the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Przemyśl was transformed into one of the largest fortress systems in Europe, with dozens of forts built in rings across the surrounding hills. And during the First World War, this fortress became the site of one of the most dramatic sieges of the entire conflict. The siege of Przemyśl in 1914 to 1915 lasted months. Starvation spread amongst the defenders before the Austrians were finally forced to surrender the city to Russian forces. And like much of this region, the 20th century brought enormous upheaval. The struggle for Polish independence, the devastation of the Second World War, and the tragic destruction of Przemyśl's once large Jewish community. Today, the city is peaceful once again, but its long and complicated past is still visible everywhere, in its museums, churches, hills, and the ruins of the fortress that once defended this frontier. And to understand why Przemyśl became so important, you only need to look up toward the castle overlooking the city. Rising above the old town on Castle Hill, about 270 meters above sea level, stands one of Przemyśl's most important landmarks, Kazimierz Castle. But the story of this hill actually begins long before the castle we see today. As early as the 8th century, this hill was already home to a fortified Slavic settlement built by the Lendians. Later, when the Polish king Bolesław the Brave reclaimed Przemyśl in 1018, he built a Romanesque palace and chapel here. Today, the foundations of those early buildings can still be seen in the castle courtyard. The stone castle itself dates back to the 14th century, when King Casimir the Great ordered the construction of a Gothic fortress overlooking the city. Only part of that original structure survives today, most notably the pointed arch gatehouse. In the 16th century, the castle was rebuilt in a Renaissance style, with round towers and stronger defensive walls, giving it much of the shape we see today. And from the hilltop, you can also see why this location was so important. Przemyśl sits in a valley along the Sand River, surrounded by hills that made it both a strategic stronghold and an important gateway between Central and Eastern Europe. Surrounding the castle is Castle Park, a large hillside park laid out in the 19th century, when the area was redesigned as a romantic English-style landscape park. Today, the park covers around 20 hectares with winding paths, old trees, and quiet viewpoints looking out across the city. One of the most prominent landmarks here is the Hill of Three Crosses, which rises to nearly 290 meters above sea level. From here, you get one of the best panoramas in Przemyśl, the rooftops of the old town below, the Sand River winding down through the valley, and the hills stretching out towards the Carpathian foothills. This hill was also incorporated into the Austrian fortress system in the 19th century as Fort 16, Tschukrisch, another reminder of the city's strategic importance. Walking through the park, you'll also come across monuments such as the bust of Tadeusz Kościuszki, along with other small historic features scattered along the paths. And as you continue climbing through these hills, you begin to encounter even more traces of Przemyśl's past. Leaving the castle behind, I continued climbing into the hills above Przemyśl. These wooden slopes aren't just scenic, they were once the outer defences of Europe's mighty Przemyśl's fortress. In the 19th century, the Austro-Hungarians built dozens of forts across these ridges. Today, their earthworks and bunkers still hide amongst the trees, silent witnesses to one of the longest sieges in history. One of the most striking landmarks up here is the Krzyż Zawierzenia, the towering cross of entrustment on Zaniesienia Hill, built in 2000 to mark the Great Jubilee of Christianity and the city's dedication to divine mercy. This 22-metre steel cross, with its 14-metre figure of Christ the Merciful, dominates the skyline. From the top, you get a breathtaking 360-degree views across the river valley and the rooftops of Przemyśl below. After the climb, I even stopped at a little cafe nearby for a cold drink and a slice of cake, the perfect reward after a day exploring these historic heights. Just a short walk away stands another landmark, Kopiec Tatarski, the Tartar Mound. At 352 meters, it's one of the highest points around the city, and legend says that it was raised centuries ago as the burial mound of a Tartar Khan killed in battle here. Though its exact origins are still debated, today the views are spectacular, and you're actually standing right beside battery number 16, the old fortress. Descending through the woodland, I passed several quiet cemeteries, powerful reminders of Przemyśl's turbulent borderland story. These hills hold World War I military graves from the Great Sieges, while the old Jewish cemetery nearby echoes the tragedies of World War II. Wars, shifting borders, and many cultures have all left their mark on this soil. Eventually, the path winds back towards the city through Lubomirski Park, a peaceful 7-hectare green oasis. At its heart stands the elegant Lubomirski Palace, built in 1885 to 87, in eclectic style for Prince Hieronym Lubomirski. One of Poland's great noble families, the Lubomirskis shaped the region's politics and culture for centuries, and this palace is a beautiful final chapter to the hill walk. Back in the city centre, another side of Przemyśl quickly becomes clear. Its incredible collection of churches. So, one thing that quickly becomes clear when wandering through Przemyśl is just how many churches rise above the rooftops. Their towers and domes create a skyline that tells the story of a city that has always been a melting point between East and West, Latin and Byzantine traditions. The crown jewel is the majestic Przemyśl Archcathedral Basilica, officially the Cathedral Basilica of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary and St. John the Baptist. This Roman Catholic landmark has stood here since the 12th century. The present late Gothic structure was completed in the 1550s and later dressed in elegant Baroque details. It's still the spiritual heart of southeastern Poland. Climbing the cathedral tower gives you one of the best panoramas over the old town and the winding San River Valley below. Just steps away, the beautiful sanctuary of the Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary serves as a much-loved pilgrimage site, drawing people for its peaceful atmosphere and deep ties to the city's Franciscan heritage. But Przemyśl's story isn't only Roman Catholic. As a historic borderland city, it has long been home to Orthodox and Ukrainian Greek Catholic communities. Buildings like the Orthodox Church of the Dormition of the Virgin Mary and the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Cathedral of St. John the Baptist bring that rich Eastern Christian tradition right into the heart of the city. And as you stroll through the streets, you keep discovering more, large and small, each one adding another beautiful layer to Przemyśl's complex, multi-faith history. You'll find these on both sides of the river, and I'm not going to name them all because then this video would go on for an hour, but I hope you get the idea. But Przemyśl also has a lighter and more playful side, and as I explored the streets, I started noticing something unexpected popping up all across the city. As I continued exploring the streets of Przemyśl, I started noticing something a little unusual. Small bronze bear statues appearing all over the city centre. The bear has actually been the symbol of Przemyśl since the 14th century. It stands proudly on the city's coat of arms. And in recent years, the city has placed quite a few of these unique bronze bears around town. I'm hesitant to give a number because it might even have gone up since I visited. I think there are something between 16 and 20, but it could be more than that now. And each bear has its own fun personality and story. It turns the old town into the most adorable urban treasure hunt. And the tourist office was brilliant here. They gave me this exact map I'm holding, pointed me to the official Przemyślskie Niedźwiadki trail, and even told me there's a handy app. Once you start looking, you realize they're absolutely everywhere, each one with a QR code that tells its tale. And one of the most photogenic is the classic bear fountain right on the market square. Installed in 1964 and cast by the same famous local foundry that made the historic bells in your Bell and Pipe Museum. A lovely little connection. And from a bear with a bell to one eating ice cream to a little welder or musician, each has its own character. Spotting them became one of the most enjoyable parts of wandering the streets. And by the time I'd finished exploring, I'd managed to find quite a few of them. But beyond the bears, Przemyśl left a much deeper impression. After spending a couple of days exploring Przemyśl, it's clear that this is a city with many layers. Sitting quietly in the San River Valley, surrounded by hills that once defended one of Europe's largest fortress systems, the city has witnessed more than 1,000 years of history. From medieval strongholds and royal castles to multicultural trade routes and dramatic sieges, Przemyśl has seen empires rise and fall around it. Yet today, the atmosphere here feels calm and welcoming. A place where history is present everywhere, but life moves at a much gentler pace. Exploring the streets, climbing the hills, visiting the museums, and even hunting down the city's bear statues, I discovered a place that rewards curiosity. Przemyśl might not be the most famous city in Poland, but it's certainly one of the most fascinating. a beautiful valley city where history, culture, and landscape come together, and a place that's well worth taking the time to explore. It's also easily accessible by train, which is a nice bonus. But I think that's enough. Thank you very much for joining me on my journey. As always, we continue to explore Poland together, and there is much more of this country to see. So please do give this video a like, because it's always good for helping the algorithm. And please feel free to subscribe and join me for my next adventure in Poland, because there are many, many more to come. Exploring this country, it's, well, my favorite pastime now. But thank you for watching, and we will see you again soon. Do zobaczenia.